We have a new fusion and a free login champion coming here in Raid pretty soon. I'm going to be breaking down those kits for you today. My name is PJ. Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video, and let's get right into it. We're going to be looking at the free login champion here first. First initial look, I think he looks pretty cool. We can go over his kit here. The A1 AoE tactical enemies heals all allies by 5% of this cheapest max HP. He's a support champion, so you're going to build him with a lot of HP, a lot of defense, so that's nice. 5% healing, never bad. It's kind of weird that he's getting damage for the books. I wish it was more healing for the books, because it doesn't seem like he's gonna be a damage dealer, so these seem like kind of like wasted books. So ideally I wish it was more healing. Don't like that it's 4 damage books. A2 places an increased attack buff and a 25% strengthen buff on allies for 2 turns. Fills turn meter of allies by 15%. Pretty solid. Increased attack, strengthen, turn meter boost is a good skill. Books down to a 3 turn. It would have been maybe nice if it was a little bit more turn meter boost, but it does a lot. 15% is kind of standard. I think Lysanthir's turn meter boost is 15%. I think maybe Siphi's is also. We could actually take a look here real quick at Siphi's. 10%, so better than Siphi. So not bad. Could definitely be a turn meter booster for you in Arena, along with bringing a increased attack and then also a little bit of survivability. Hey, stop right there. Click in the description right now for you to get a free legendary Karato Fox Hunter along with 4 free amazing epic champions as you level up. Here are the exact steps that you need to follow. Step 1. Log out of Player and Play on PC and uninstall. If you have never had Raid installed on your mobile phone before, the link will work there too. Step 2. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Step 4, go to the inbox and claim your champion. Here we go. Karato Fox Hunter will be there waiting for you in the inbox. This is an amazing start to your account and you do not want to miss it. So make sure you click the link in the description, follow the steps, and don't forget, tell a friend. And then the A3 revives 1 ally by 50% HP and turn meter, places increased attack on them for 1 turn. Then activates the revive ally default skill, targeting ally with the lowest HP. So this is very similar to Senna's revive, which she's a void Lego, void dwarf, and she's really good for Chimera for some other reasons, not just because of the revive and the ally attack. She does a bunch of turn meter boosting, which not quite he does. There's a little bit of turn meter boosting, not the quite the same as Senna. But I do like the A3, especially because it gives increased attack. Let's say you're going kind of like a go second team, you die, or one of your nukers dies. Ideally it's an attack nuker. He stays alive, he revives them, puts increased attack on them, and then your nuker kills the person with the lowest HP. We get to the passive. If the enemy killed by the allies default skill after being revived, it resets the cooldown of the revive. So you can kind of chain revive people. So although it's a single target revive in Arena and in some PvE content with waves, it can kind of feel like maybe an AoE even though it's a single target, which is kind of cool. In the aura, we have a 25% speed in Arena. Very nice. I do like all areas better with Siege, because Siege doesn't take Arena battle auras. So ideally all battles is better, but 25% in Arena is still pretty solid. Not the best, but definitely a good chunk of speed. So overall, I think he looks pretty cool. For a free champion that everyone's gonna be getting, he looks like a good support champ. Brings a little bit of reviving, does some buffing, healing, turn meter boosting. He does a little bit of everything. I like him. Very interested to hear what you guys in the comments think of him. But again, for a free champ, you can't really complain too much. I think overall pretty good. Maybe for a late game account, end game account, not gonna be too crazy, but I think if you're early game, mid game, progressing through the game, he should be nice for you. So be on the lookout for him. Let me know what you guys think. Now let's get over to the fusion coming out, and this is the kit for the fusion. I've heard a few different things. He's a defense based champion. It looks like he's going to be more for Hydra, which is good and bad. I know some people do need Hydra champions, some people don't need Hydra champions, so this is going to be really depending on like your account and what you need. But let's take a look here quickly at the kit. A1 attacks enemy 2 times. The first hit has books to 100% chance of placing a hex debuff for 2 turns, and then places a increased crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. So he buffs himself a little bit with the A1. So when I first saw this kit, I was like, okay, bring an ally attack champion and then he will give himself increased crit damage. But the issue is it doesn't really synergize that well, because if we come down down here and look at the A2, attacks enemy 2 times. Okay, has a 20% chance of repeating the attack. Nice. This is the part though. When this champion counterattacks or teams up with allies to attack an enemy, so ally attack, will use this skill instead of their default skill. The damage inflicted with this skill increases by 10% each time an ally is devoured, stacks up to 50%. So this is very, very Hydra specific. Hydra right now is the only place where we can get devoured. I don't really like champions that specific to areas. I wish it would have been a little bit different. But getting back to the first point, you're going to use this skill when you're ally attacking or counter attacking. So it's good, like it's nice that you're using the A2 not the A1, but then you lose the synergy of ally attacking to give himself increased crit damage because it's going to do the A2. So that's kind of annoying. I kind of lost the synergy there, but specifically A2, it is nice. There's a very few champions that counter attack or ally attack outside of their A1, so it's pretty rare. This could unlock some unique stuff depending on how hard he hits. I've seen a couple videos and it looks like the multipliers aren't too crazy, but I don't think they had this stacked up to 50%, but this is kind of hard to get, honestly, especially if you're late game, end game. It takes a while for them to devour you 5 times. If you're early game, mid game, it could be a little bit quicker, but I don't really like relying on a damage boost off of them eating you and devouring you. I don't think it has to be a full, like they don't have to consume you, but just like the devour. So I don't know, it's a really weird mechanic to have. I'm not too happy with it. We'll have to see more in Hydra and how it hits, because I definitely didn't see the full 50%. If you can stack it up to 50% early somehow, then you might do really good damage, but I just don't really know how that's going to happen. You can't really like speed it up anyway. Then we get into the A3. Attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 75 bucks to a 100% chance of placing decreased speed and weaken for 2 turns. If the target is under hex debuff, places these debuffs before attacking. Okay, so again, there's a little bit of counter synergy because he brings the hex on the A1. Like, okay, we could use ally attack to spread the hex. No, because when you ally attack, it's going to do the A2, not the A1, so you can't spread the hex. So you need to bring another hex champion with him, which is fine, but it's just kind of weird. They should have put hex on this skill then as well if they were going to have him do the A2 like with the counter attacks and ally attack, so you could actually spread it a little bit. Having it on the A1 feels kind of useless. Same with the buff, like I don't really like it on the A1, but if you are able to get hex out before, then this is pretty nice. Being able to put the decreased speed and the weaken on before hitting definitely helps. You're going to do a little bit more damage with the weaken, and then the decreased speed, it doesn't really matter if you get it on before or after you hit. It's just you want to get it on either way. But the weaken, it definitely helps getting it on before because you're going to do more damage on that initial hit. This is going to book down to a 3 turn, so it's going to be a 3/3 champion on the cooldowns, which is good. 3/3 is very nice. I just don't know how I like the synergy on his kit though. And then we'll look at the passive. We'll ignore life barrier and ally protection buffs. Increases this champion's defense by 5% for each active buff on this champion. So if you bring a bunch of buffs, you can stack his defense up, which is nice. We'll ignore life barrier and ally protection. Again, life barrier is very, very specific to Hydra. I don't think there's any other place in the game where there's life barrier. Ally protection is not specific to Hydra. There's tons of places and champions that can do ally protection. It does show up in Hydra as well. But again, this champion is seems very, very Hydra specific. If you're a late game, end game player, probably don't need him for Hydra. You're gonna start then asking yourself, okay, like Curse City, is he gonna help me in Curse City? And then the big question is, hard mode faction wars is coming out, is he gonna help you there? And the answer is, who knows? Maybe yes, maybe no. We have no idea what kind of challenges and skills we need for that. Maybe we need decreased speed and weaken, and this is the only champion that has it. But I don't think that's the only. This is the only champion that has it in this faction. But you can look at high elves. I think there's other options. And then the aura increases all defense in the battle by 20%. Increases all allied defense in all battles by 28%, which is solid. Definitely not bad. All battles is good. I like that over specific. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about this champion. Again, I saw some videos and it didn't look like he was hitting too crazy, but they didn't have him fully maxed up with the Devour. If you're early mid game and you need Hydra damage dealers, if you miss Thor or Thor is your only damage dealer, then this dude might be a solid pickup. And then if you're more late game, are you going to need him in hard faction wars, or is he going to help you in any kind of Curses City rooms that you might be struggling with? Because it's definitely important to work on Curse City if you're not trying to upgrade champions and progress. If you're more more of an endgame, late game player, I think that's a big mistake. There's tons of good resources there that are up for grabs, and you're just letting them walk away for free if you're not going for it. And if you're a late game, endgame player, like what else are you really champion training for? They have so many champion training events right now that it's like, I don't know, I need something to champ train and level up for. So it's like, if I didn't have Curse City, I don't know who I'd level up. And now that I'm pretty much beating Curse City every rotation, hard mode faction wars is coming out. So it's like, okay, perfect. This is all settled. I don't have to worry about Curse City anymore. Now I can start working on hard mode factions and probably leveling up random epics. And I wouldn't even be surprised if it to level up rares for hard mode faction wars. I hope it's not too dependent and required on Unity champions and mythicals for the factions. If I have to level up rares, that's fine, but I really hope it's not locked behind like, oh, you have to get this Unity champion to 3-star this stage, and if you don't have them, you can't 3-star this stage, and then you can't get the rewards. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how they handle all the stages, because I'm pretty sure every single stage is gonna have a different challenge to 3-star. That's gonna be interesting. I mean, we can take a look and see in High Elves. So he brings decreased speed, weaken, and then Hex on the A1. There's definitely other champions that are gonna be bringing some of these as well. Rogar brings decreased speed. Terrell does not do decreased speed, does decreased defense. I mean, Arbiter does weaken on the A1, and everyone's gonna get Arbiter for free. She also does increase attack. Who does? Anyone do decreased speed? Island does decreased speed, and he was a fusion before. There's probably some other champions that decrease speed. I mean, Neldor does decrease speed. So yeah, there's definitely other champions in here that cover it. Maybe no Hex. I guess that could be the only thing, is if there's challenge where you need to bring Hex, but I guess you could also bring Hex set, so you can always think about that. Maybe it has to be Hex from a skill or something. I don't know, they're gonna make it super specific where you can't use sets, and I don't know. I don't know, but if that's a thing, maybe if we need Hex, then this is gonna be our guy. But again, it doesn't synergize very well because of how the A2 is. You want it, let's say you do bring like an ally attack or counterattack or something, you're not gonna get the Hex out. It's just, I don't know, his kit is kind of weird. I'm probably gonna go for him. I go for every fusion pretty much. I like doing them. I enjoy the activities and the grind for the fusions, because generally you do 60% of the fusion just by playing the game, and then the rest is kind of like just pulling shards and finishing up the DDs that are a little bit extra energy. You have to use some gems, but generally it just comes down to pulling shards, and I try to save my shards for fusions and for guaranteeds. So even if they're bad, I try to go for them. I don't know, this dude's looking kind of iffy. They've also been doing a lot of events recently to promote pulling shards and promote using a lot of resources, and I've been doing a lot of the events, so I feel like I'm getting low on shards. People might call me crazy for this. I have, I think, 38 Sacreds right now, and I feel like that's low to me. I know people have the 0, like, what, 38? That's so much. But a few months ago, I had 70 saved up, and I just been using a bunch of them for the Cat's Gaze tournaments with the Alice event, and then a few other of these events recently. Just been pulling a lot of shards. Not really happy with my shard count, so I would like to start saving up resources again, but I don't know, the FOMO, and just I like doing fusion, so I'm probably gonna end up doing him. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you guys are gonna go for this fusion, and what you guys think of the free champion we're gonna be getting. Leave a like, leave a subscription. We are almost at 400 subscribers. We're so close. Maybe when this video goes live we'll be hitting it, but as of right now I think we're a few away, so hit that. Hope you have a good rest of your day / night, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.